Hello everyone. Today my topic is going to be about pneumatics and hydraulics. I'll be telling you what pneumatics is, what hydraulics is, where it comes from, and what's the difference between them, what's the advantage, what's the disadvantage, and the uses of them. So let's carry on. Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Bhageshri Singh, and I'm a student at Assumption University, ABAC, in Thailand. Okay, in general, fluid power is actually a method using pressurized fluids, and this is used to transmit energy. The reason I'm explaining what fluid power is because fluid power is a general idea which gives you pneumatics and hydraulics. Fluid power is actually used in automatic engineering, and yeah, obviously when we use automotive engineering, we use it cars, airplanes, any general transportation. So we can see a brighter future in fluid power than application as well. As I said, fluid power is divided into two sections. One is hydraulics and the other is pneumatics. Hydraulics is actually the power through power transmission, and it uses liquid. And when I say liquid, in general, they use petroleum gas or oil. And in pneumatics, we use gas, usually air. So any kind of air, inherent gases too. Well, I won't go deeper into that topic. The fundamental difference between air and oil is that air is compressible, yes, and the oil is relatively obviously incompressible. The basic pneumatic system. These are things you would find in a pneumatic system. Receiver, compressor, prime mover, obviously as electric motors, valve, conductors, and these conductors have pipe, hoses and tubes. Hoses are actually which holds the two pipes together. So hoses are pre-mudded. And actuators. This is an example of a pneumatic circuit. This is what we do, normal connection in our labs and obviously outside in the weight industry. And every circuit has its own design. So even pneumatics and hydraulics need to be drawn down. So this is actually a pneumatics circuit. So we can see the components drawing and placement of the component. If you see this is a valve which allows the flowing of gas in one direction. So this is the circuit drawing and this is the valve. You can see both the components here. Pneumatics also has logic gate systems, and sometimes these logic gates are used in industrial processing. I do think, I'm not sure if they really apply this right now, but they're working on it. So we could see a brighter future in pneumatic logic system. I keep saying logic gates, sorry. And obviously we know that when we talk about logic system or any digital processing system, we go under the units or gates using like and, nor gates. I won't go in detail about these gates and the function of logic system, but I'll just say that this method will be used in industries. It's being used, but not vastly, and these are being actually replacing the electrical systems, and these are being since these are really small and they do cost less, so that's why I'm saying that these are pretty soon gonna take over the electrical systems of pneumatic system. Since I'm done with pneumatics, I'll move on to hydraulics. We know hydraulics uses oil, so we know that this is actually a basic hydraulic system. In a basic hydraulic system, we have the reservoir, the one place where here, this tank, the reservoir, one place where we store the oil and water. Then we have the pump. These pumps' function is to pressurize the oil and water to pick it up and pour it down. We all know the general function of pumps. Then we have electric motor and prime movers. We have valves, and these four actually have similar as a pneumatic system. That's how we know that that's how pneumatic and hydraulics are similar. They have some components, some tasks which are pretty similar. So yeah, like I said, electric motor, prime mover, valve. Then we have conductors, pipe, tubing, and hoses, and actuators. When we talk about hydraulic system, we have to talk about Pascal law. We have to talk about pressure, because these are the general units of hydraulic system. Till date, it's very important to know these functions, and furthermore, these play a pretty important role in hydraulic system, since we all know pressure is force upon area. So this is just showing a general idea. This is a cylinder, and it shows how compressibility difference between air and liquid. Like I said, air is compressible and oil isn't. So yeah, that will also fall under pressure. Yeah. So comparison between pneumatics and hydraulic system. So I'll be first telling you the disadvantages of each system. First advantage of pneumatic system is that it's easily available. You can take air from anywhere, like it's there, we're breathing it right now. And so that helps in building up a simpler design and control. Like the components are there, it's easily, we require components and a switch which gives us the function of on and off, which is not available in hydraulics actually. It's pretty much more useful and easier in pneumatic system. So yeah, so air is easily available. Then we have fast response, and air is non-flammable, means safety. Yes, number one rule here is safety. So pneumatic system has higher safety chances than hydraulic system, but somehow even pneumatics is not up to mark in safety. That would be the other advantages of hydraulic system, which is maintenance, and yes, the continuation in variable transmission. One more thing, pneumatic system is more reliable than hydraulic system. It's reliable as in it has less maintenance as it's a compressible gas. So yeah, we have lesser power loss, and yes. So I have already explained pneumatics and hydraulics. I think we can go through this here. Well, this is just about the system, like the about the valves, the components we use. Basically, it just tells the difference between pneumatics and hydraulics, and as I said, oil and gas. And it has been already covered in the previous about the basic components required. So I'll just tell about the examples of pneumatics and hydraulic system. An example as in real life, where we apply these things. So pneumatics is actually pretty common. It's used a lot because we require the gas functioning a lot. Pneumatic system is we use it like in dentist chair when we go to dentist, the suction. It's also used. One of the famous example is the Holman projector. Actually, it's an aircraft weapon, and it was designed first time using pneumatic system, and it was pretty impressive. And if you're looking for other examples in music section, pneumatic system is used as pipe organs, like so yeah. Hydraulics, well, not general. In general, hydraulics is dealt with around this is pretty common in transportations. So yeah, it's like oh, the most important thing about hydraulics, which gives us a stronger base around pneumatics, is that it has it can lift higher weights. Compared to pneumatics, pneumatics cannot lift higher weights. That's why hydraulics is preferred, because even in industries. So that's one thing I would give to hydraulics. So like I said, hydraulics is basically used in, it does play an important role in many industries because we do deal with oil, and so hydraulics function is generally higher than pneumatic function, but pneumatic is proven to be the future of engineering. So hydraulic application, like I said, is in manufacturing, transportation, construction sites. It's used around the world. Like I said, one advantage is that hydraulic system uses oil for transmission fluid, as a transmission fluid, so it's comparatively uncompressible, meaning it's more efficient, and the power transmission is higher and gives a higher operating pressure. You can see I have put two parts. One is like a car, which shows both pneumatics difference and hydraulics difference. And this is a construction site, industry, where they apply the valves. We can see the valves. They're using both pneumatics and hydraulics in one industry, in one factory. These are the major companies around the world which uses pneumatics and hydraulics. So these are just a few examples, but the most famous one which I know is the Rexon Bosch Group Electronics. The reason I know this one is because when we were learning pneumatics and hydraulics, the lab, the most of the components come from here. So obviously when you have a component being built by a company, you have a manual along with it. So in general, when we are learning as engineers, general students, Rexon Bosch Group Electronics is the first option. In maintenance, I'd like to conclude with maintenance, because maintenance falls under hydraulics and also pneumatics, but pneumatics maintenance is pretty hard, since it's air, and the maintenance is pretty hard, so the system can land up freezing. Okay, so I'll conclude with maintenance. Maintenance can cause contamination, observation, and we have to in maintenance we have to look after contamination. We don't want our system to damage. We don't want to buy expensive components again. So we have to be careful with contamination. Observation and monitoring, the most important thing. We have to observe and monitor our systems. Then that obviously comes under routine inspection. Routine inspection is from someone who's pretty experienced, and they go down at the work site and they're like, okay, inspection, like they check, okay, this is working, this is functioning, this is wrong, we need to fix this. And tolerance and regularity also is something which falls under the routine inspection. And obviously the main function is to help any prevention, look after the filtration. We don't want any unwanted remains. If there's unwanted remains, that would cause a system to be unstable, and you cannot function with the oil or air. So these, like I said, I would like to conclude with maintenance, and these are the reference I've been using for actually Google. So yeah, these are the reference I've been using for my presentation. Thank you so much, and yeah, see you again.